Can that truly be all that is required? I mean, it seems to be the case, to be fair. My survey team has concluded a preliminary analysis of the Aetherite Aesar used to escape. They believe that she teleported to another Aetherite somewhere not far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity of the second Aetherite, however, they have been wholly unable to detect its presence directly. Unless Aesar has some means to mask a signal, I can only presume she had it destroyed to prevent us from following her. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternate route, most likely a tunnel, assuming one exists. Let us not give up on teleportation just yet. One of my colleagues in Charlian may be able to assist us. I pray that you or I dare not think how long it would take to survey the entire tunnel system. When an affiliate looks at 2 or Aetherite prompt, I'd like to request your assistance with another matter. The 3rd unit is currently tracking the remnants of a heretic force which attacked us. However, the search goes poorly despite our numbers. Porthos is vast, and Iheart's followers know the terrain far better than we. Your knowledge of the region may serve to hasten the process. The sooner we capture Iceheart's followers, the sooner we will press them for their leader's whereabouts. Also, though it admittedly a selfish request, I feel that my Braves would benefit immensely from working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less experienced recruits, many of whom to look up to in case you are not aware. Good, I knew you would understand. Yohase can appraise you of the details. When the task is complete, come and find me at the observatorium. Captain Liberd and I are meeting there to discuss the latest developments in his investigation. The Temple Knights shall hold Snowcloak in our absence. Let us leave them to their works. Ours is more pressing. Bam, 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 bam. There you are, Overall Commander Olivier instructed us to wait for you. Your assistance is most welcome. Believe me, most of the 3rd hail from Ulda. For a man accustomed to the feel of sand, many of these boots, the crunch of snow can be rather disconcerting. But to the matter at hand, Neri, a moment ago I received word that the heretics we seek have been spotted making for Danifin Pass. My braves are already in pursuit, and I should be grateful if you would join them. I myself should take part in the hunt. Never let it be said that I did not earn my coin. Oh, we get level 51 on the Samurai too. Very nice. I'm debating what job I want to play through Heaven's Ward on. I almost want to level up Dark Knight and take Dark Knight through Heaven's Ward. Saul's balls, my uncle is on fire, caught a boot on a rock or something, and twisted it as I fell. The others went on ahead through Danifin Pass, and you might catch up. If you aren't sure where to look for chests. The snow is fresh, so they shouldn't be hard to find. Balls, baby. Last time, what were you doing here? The heretics, I'm not sure. There was a great scaled beast, and Yo-Yo-Hasi, I think he went east on his own. The heretics split up, so we did too. How embarrassing. I was so intent on following the heretics' tracks that I almost failed to notice they had doubled back. Almost, mind you. One tried to sneak up behind me and got a knife in the gut for his troubles. I thought myself alone, so I started searching the dead man's knapsack for anything of interest, and lo and behold, before his friends found me, I came upon this. Withdraw groups of 3 or less to the observatorium, give the signal and wait. The merchant will be watching, be late, and be dead. Speaks for itself, does not you could possibly mean a rendezvous inside the palace, so we should restrict our search to the surrounding area. Let me rephrase it, you should restrict your search to the wilderness around the observatorium. I'll need more than a moment's rest to recover from these wounds. I'm through with listening to your excuses. We leave now. How the woods are crawling with those blue coats, and the knights are searching every wagon that passes through the gates. Well, stay with her then if you think you'll fare any better. Now, that's no need for that. There are places like this in my homeland, sacred snow-capped peaks where blood must not be shed. Yet your land's ever thirst for blood of the fallen, and by your deeds it has drawn deep. No, I have done no wrong. None but meet in secret with heretics, done all you will. We shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the arts of interrogation. Damn it all. Hey, it's me, you here, Ober. I presume your work of the third brought you hither. What a tangled web, lest you wonder. We came here not for the heretics, but for the merchant who has been conspiring with them. He came to our attention during the course of our investigation to the Ivy. It beggars belief, I know, but it seems our favorite Garlean spy may have been providing assistance to Iceheart. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Yugiri and her shinobi, you might never have discovered the connection. Master Evelyn, too kind. I fear my people and I have done little to aid your search for the spy. We long to strike back against the Empire, weaken their influence in this land, to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from reoccurring. The day's end, the work that I promise will require a very particular set of skills which I am fortunate enough to possess. If you will, I will accompany you until the investigation is complete. This is the most generous offer, Lady Ugri, and one which I will gladly accept. Thank you. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I shall never be far, and I shall always be watching. Comforting thought. Come over, let's wait inside the Captain Ilbert to return and deliver his report. I love you, Ugri. I love you. Captain Ebert seemed confident that the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble when pressed. If so, we should have new information year long. As to whether it will bring us any closer to learning the Ivy's identity, I would rather not say. Given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider our fortunate we spared another wild dodo chase. The gods know we have more than enough to occupy our time as it is. Oh ma. Oh ma. Oh ma. Captain Ailbert, do you report if you will? I, Commander, firstly, with regard to the heretic we captured, I regret to say that the man could tell us not that we did not already know of Shiva. We have since handed him over to the Ishgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Yeah, Microsoft has got its problems. Oh yeah. Hey, that's what happens when you have a monopoly over the entire market. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquired their information on the shipment routes. Go on. You will recall the flame we first identified as being the Ivy's employee. From him, we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took a necessary step of detaining all suspects of conspiracy. There were 5 on the list, including a flame station at Revenant Stall. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars which he would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring the needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the Awesome, and needless to say, they included the originator from the house Vortex. He knew the precise route of the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think I can guess which one. None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics. Well, this is one mystery solved at least, but what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prying off his mask? I dare say we are, Commander. Orlando's pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. To consider then that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the field of suspects is greatly narrowed. You mean to say that the agent is Reborn's innermost circle, someone who has been with him since the Immortal Flames establishment? It is the most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding and the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. To slip into a position of authority unremarked and remain above suspicion all these years. I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. One of the 3 grand companies, Old Oz was ever the most vulnerable to infiltration. Both Limsel and Mitsa and Gradani had long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal ones of mine, under the same leadership, only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Old Oz military was made up of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answer only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment in which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Reborn faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he was convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost, there remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed, any given of the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of Estonia, it had been a child's play to infiltrate the company. A good deal easier than now, eh? The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicts, interests, and public and private. Though the Monarchs ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding, it was not out of charity and they did so, but simply self-preservation. Had Nell von Darnus' ambitions been less apocalyptic, you may be sure that they would never have supply Reborn with an army. Tis but a wonder they did no attempt to extinguish the flames of the moment the danger had passed. Ahem, returning to the present. Even as we speak, our dome and allies are shadowing several high-ranking flames. Any one of them could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Very good. Pray continue your investigation with the first. Meanwhile, have the second attend to the unrest, and third can join the fourth in inspecting crystal shipments. If they knows anything unusual, I want to know about it. If Shima is summoned in like manner to the other primals, the heretics will be looking for farther supplies. Understood, Commander. I shall send word to Sir Emeric, informing him of the success in identifying the heretics' abettors. Hopefully the information will be of some use to the Ishgardians. It is time, Commander. Yes, I am aware. An emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald. I would assume, as Commander of the Crystal Rays, my presence has been requested. I would have you accompany Obero as the realm's stoutest champion. 'Tis only meet that you be present for the discussion. Oh, and the antecedent has already given you her consent, lest you worry. Alright, heck yeah. I'm gonna run to the bathroom, guys, and get something to drink. Be right back. Okay, back. Like me, you are doubtless eager to conclude our business with Iceheart, but until another path of her sanctum is found, she will remain beyond our reach. Mephilia and the Archons are sparing no effort to secure an alternative route. Until such time as they succeed, I suggest we give some thought of the realm's other problems. I shall go on ahead to Gridania in readiness for the coming council. Meet me at Nofika's altar, and we shall make our way to the Lotus Stand together. I need to shave. Alright, thanks for coming, Obro. When you're ready, speak to the conjurer yonder. She'll show us to the Lotus Stand.
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
Roll, Reggie. That was quick.
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
Would that the Garlean Empire had died with him.
Those shoulders just seem incredibly inefficient. Oh my god.
'Twas the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader, not so his uncle.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
I'm sick of these damn Garleans, chat. I'm sick of them.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new Emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartno dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it. If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the Ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
It will not escape your notice that the nations of Eorzea are not no nearer to being of one purpose, despite the protestations to the contrary. Plainly, the threat of a resurgent Garlemald is not enough to stir them. And the reason for this, deep-rooted mistrust amongst the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to all the understanding they like. Unity means little unless to the common folk. Take the Lominsians, for instance. Though Admiral Maleb outlawed piracy over a decade ago, foreigners still picture the nation as a haven for grog-swilling, wooden-legged cutthroats. And likewise, the Gridanians are mocked as hermits who talk to trees, and the Uldan scorned as swindlers who worship coin. Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take that pillar of Uldan society, Talaji et Alaji, for example. But that is beside the point. The fact is that people are wary of outsiders, whether they have cause to be or not. On that basis, one could argue the conflict of Cardanau is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflict. But enough idle musing. Let's seek to a more pressing matter, the Ivy. Since we spoke at the observatorium, Captain Ilbert has further shortened his list of suspects, and by happy coincidence, the one he deems the most likely candidate is likely back to Gridania. Though it nears its end, Obro, all that remains is to corner our quarry. Seek out Ilbert near the Adder's Nest. He will give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Corthus, you can be sure that I will send word without delay. In the meantime, most you success in apprehending the Ivy. Oh yeah, I am running out of breath with all this talking. Hopefully a couple of my friends pop up soon and we can do some Battlefield 6 res sec. But that's actually been quite a bit of fun. We played a good chunk yesterday after I got all my issues figured out with my computer. Thanks for coming, Silent Ellis. The commanders informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. From the point on, we must proceed with extreme caution. Listen, well, the spell we have been seeking all this time is none other than a flame marshal, Elaine Royale. Rabon's second in command. Prior to joining the Immortal Flame, she was a mercenary of no small renown. They say her skill with the polearm has to be seen to be believed. Of Ishgardian birth, she is the highest ranking foreigner in the Immortal Flames, barring the general himself, of course. When he formed the Grand Company, Rabon chose people based on their worth. Whence they hailed was of no interest. The Monodorous saw things differently, however. Having funded the enterprise, they reserved the right to reject candidates nominated for high-ranking positions. And 'twas no secret they did not favor foreigners, the Ishgardians especially, after the way the Holy See took the... Yet the Monodorous still did not raise so much of a murmur or protest when Royale was appointed her post. Passing strange, is it not going to be that Ivy has some hold over the Monodorous? But these revelations are secondary to our current mission. Of foremost interest is Royale's presence here now. As you may be aware, it is of the duty of the Flame Marshal to command the Immortal Flames in the absence of the Flame General. Although well-renowned attendant of the Council of Alliance leaders, she should have remained in the Hall of Flames. The woman has no business being in Gridania, yet here she is nonetheless. On some pretense, she is up to something, mark my words. Even as we speak, I have a dozen men trawling the Flame records for evidence of Royale's guilt, but if we can catch her red-handed, we shall have all the proof we need. Which brings me to the plan. I have people watching the city gates, the airship landing, and the docks. Every piece of egress. She cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains is to shadow her until she betrays her true purpose. Can you rely upon your eyes, Scion? You have my thanks. Let us go then and take care not to alert our quarry. Alright, let's head to the direction of the Blue Badger's Gate with me, Scion. Soriel has entered the Carleon canopy. Means someone perchance, or should it be she means to board an airship? Pray look for her within. If she is not on the upper floor, try the landing area below. Wouldn't mind a station there, and she may have been seen something. FME is her name. I shall remain here in case Royale reappears. Over a caution, such an unexpected pleasure what brings you here. Ahem, a social visit, you say? How pleasant. No, she didn't come this way. I've noticed every passenger and none bore any resemblance. Well, don't let me keep you. Nowhere to be seen, you say? You're sure she didn't board an airship? She did not come back out either. Where in the seven hells could she have gone? The Roost, how could I forget? Greetings, good sir. Might interest you in some Muay tonic, a cup a day, imbues a man with great vigor if you take my meaning. Perhaps another time, friend. Wait, that necklace, you are a shinobi of Doma. The woman you seek has left Gridania by way of West Shore Pier. She was attired as a merchant, but these eyes are not so easily deceived. You may wish to take your search to the East Shroud. Rest assured, we shall continue to support you from the shadows. Thank the 12 of the Domans. Were it not for their unique talents, Royale would have disappeared without a trace. Our hunt leads us to the Shroud sign. I suggest we follow Royale's example and take the ferry from West Shore Pier. Your Dallas wish to make a certain preparations. See them while I go on ahead. I shall wait for you at Sweet Bloom Pier. This way, my friends. Yuguri, I love her. Your quarry makes for the Hawthorne Hut. If Royale is truly the one we seek, we can expect she means to make contact with the Garlean masters there. An explanation is in order. You no doubt aware that the Garleans have their own method of communicating over great distances. Well, our ingenuous friends at Garland Ironworks over the Garland have provided us with devices which disrupt those communications, and we have installed them around the city-states. In doing so, we made it difficult for Imperial agents to correspond with their masters. Royale would thus have no choice but to rendezvous with the Imperial contact directory. Yet, as a well-known fast in the Immortal Flame, she cannot move about Danaland without being recognized. It'd only be a matter of time before someone saw through her disguise. Just for that reason, I believe she has chosen the Black Shroud for her clandestine meeting. The Eliza are a common sight there, and her comings and goings are not like to turn any heads. As my scouts tell me, the Garleans have sent agents with a mind to destroy the devices and render such direct contact unnecessary. Unfortunately, our shinobi have thus been successful in rebuffing their efforts. This is it. We need to only make way for Hawthorne's Hut and Hawthorne's Hut and catch Rail and Liak. My people report that her quarry has departed for the Bramble Patch. The Ivy returns to the Gnarls whence she came, but perhaps it is all for the better. To convict someone of her standing, we will require damning evidence against her, which could be better than to catch her in the act when she meets with the Garlean masters. My countrymen and I shall lie and wait for the showers. Tread warily, my friends. Just beyond, Royale is in conversation with an individual clad in the manner of an adventurer, Imperial intermediary, and no doubt. This is it with me. Blame Marshal Aline Roselle, you're under arrest for treason and espionage. You were followed, you bloody fool. Damnation. Oh, hell yeah, dude. You are unarmed, my lady, and scarce a garf battle. What if you wish to fight, you are welcome to try. What is the meaning of this, Captain? Would you arrest me for strolling in the Twelveswood when last I looked there was no crime and neither was conversing with the passing strangers? You would feign ignorance then? Very well. Do you think of something to say? There will be plenty of time to say it later. Now come quietly or I shall make you wish you had. I will offer you no struggle after all I had not to hide. Even a warrior Rails renown could have not hoped to escape by force. Despite her claims, her surrender does not bespeak innocence, but an awareness of her position is unstable. With the ivy thus uprooted, is the hope that the tendrils she entwined with the immortal flames will gradually wither and die. Mayhap then the people of Dol will have the grand company they deserve, but let us speak of the present. If I'm asked, what will you do now, bro? So the silence seek a way into Ice Heart's sanctum. Then I dare say your ego will return to the rising stones. Pray do not let me keep you. Fear not, my countrymen, and I shall tend to the aftermath. You need not waste your talents here. And speaking of talents, you have been training in the art of the shinobi. The change in your bearings is quite evident to me, at least. I look forward to seeing you in action. Till next time, my friend. I like that she mentions that I've become a ninja and like stuff like that. That's cool. I don't know if they reference that if you haven't been playing the ninja job at all. Like if you haven't unlocked it. Well, shit. Now I gotta max out my my ninja overnight at some point. Probably be the job I do after my scholar, which is at 47, so very close to getting that one to 50. Welcome back, Oprah. I understand the Elfina had a test for you. May I ask what it was? Charges of treason and espionage against Elaine Roselle. I will scarce believe it. Could there have been some manner of misunderstanding? No avails us not to dwell on it. Whatever the truth may be, we must trust to the authorities to uncover it. Let's speak of another matter. I'm pleased to report that we've made progress in our efforts to find a way into Iceheart's sanctum. As you may recall, Iceheart used the Aetherium in the depths of the Snowcloak to teleport a short distance to the west, most likely to sanctum of some description. Is there, we suspect that she means to summon Shiva using the crystal she stole from the house for Temp's caravan. The heretics believe they are bringing about the second coming of their patron saint, but if, as we suspect, they mean a summoning ritual of that kind employed of the beast tribes, it may seem likely that the result will be something more akin to a primal. Suffice to say, they must be stopped and stop them. We shall, but first we must surmount the obstacle that our shadow was placed in our path. Ordinarily, it'd be simply a simple matter to tap into the established Aethernet and thereby follow our quarry. However, despite our best efforts, we have been unable to ascertain the position of the Aetherite to which she teleported. Our prevailing theory is that she destroyed the second Aetherite upon arrival, a reckless, desperate measure, but also an effective one. After discussing the matter at length with Orange, we have concluded that we lack the expertise to develop a solution, which is why we have called upon the aid of those one who does possess such expertise. Of colleagues of ours is currently out to evidence fell from Charlian. She will be arriving within the hour. In fact, since you're here, mayhap you could welcome her together. I am certain she would appreciate the gesture. Let us make our way to the northern gates and await her coming.